of course you can use any targeting pattern. For query selector is the CSS class, my text. So that will return the para there. Now what do I want to do with this para? So this para, which is an object, has a class, the para.classList. This class list is going to return a list of all the classes associated with this paragraph. So para.classList.toggle, there's a method called toggle on it. Now what do I want to toggle? I want to toggle a method called show. So this show is a CSS class. So anytime you click on this paragraph, it's going to add a class called show to the already existing to the paragraph. So I think, okay, let's get to it. So for example, let's start. So I click on this, so it's going to add, okay, toggle on DOM token. Toggling para. Oh, sorry. So anytime we click on this button, it's going to add a class called show to the class list. So anytime we click on it, now look at it, this is the where we are, this is the button, and this is the paragraph. So you see that currently the class is my text. Now when we click on it, you see it has added a class called show to it. We click on it again, it has removed it. We click on it again, it has added it called the class called show. So what I can do is, okay, let me call this hide. So because what I want is that by default the paragraph will be showing, but when you click on it, it's going to hide it. When you click on it, it's going to add the class. It's going to add the class hide to it. So when you click on it, add the class hide. Now when you have a class of hide, what do you want to do? I want to hide that paragraph. So I come to my demo sites. So I don't want to alter the main CSS. So just add a style here, and then target that element, which is, of course, hope we've not forgotten our CSS. Okay, the element has a class of hide. So anytime an element has a class of hide, what do you want? Display, set this display to none. So now when we refresh our site and then we click, the paragraph goes away. We click again, the paragraph comes up, we click, it goes away, like that. So this is toggle, now is toggling it. So this is a bit of what we can do with JavaScript. For example, so this is I've talked about how we can manipulate elements. There are so many things we can do. Of course, you have the Mozilla Developers Network, the free code camp to expand your skill. And also, if you have any question, don't hesitate to ask in the platform. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to this like this video, and then subscribe to the channel so as to help others find these resources, and also to get notifications when new contents are being posted. So I've talked about how we can use the style, how we can use, there are various functions or properties that are available. This is append child, there is the insert before, there are so many of them. But for events, this is one way we can add events. I think this is the most common, because with this we can add several events. We can add several events to this. So for example, this the form here. Normally, by default, this form has a class of form control. Is a button that has a class of form control. Normally, if you click on this button, it's going to submit the fields. So it is going to submit, it will want to submit the form. I can choose to prevent that by targeting it. So I can say, so let me say there's some, okay, this is just about the toggling of the thing. I want to come down here. I can say let's form button. These names are optional. I'm just coming up with the name. Form btnb documents dot, I'm used to query selector. Of course, it's more, if, well, my perspective. So it's a button that has a class of form control. So that's targets the button there. So form button dot, I can say add event listener. I can say double click. Okay, what can I say? Okay, click, user will click on it, and then let me add the function don't submit. So let me create the function faster. Don't submit. Another thing I want to point out, anytime you add an event listener to an object, there's an event reference that is always passed to it, so which we can capture. So that's the E there. So I can say, okay, let me show .log E. So let me show this E has a lot of properties related to the click event. So this is a mouse event, which is a click event. It has a lot of properties which we can capture or use to get an idea of what is happening. So I can say E dot, there's a method called prevent default. E dot prevent default. So this is, I want to prevent it. I can now say maybe console dot log I stopped this form. Okay, so let's see how it goes. So you see that instead, when I click now, instead of showing me submitting the form and then confirming that there's nothing there, so it's now printing I stopped this from the mouse event, which I said console.log, and then it's now printing I stopped this form. So I've used JavaScript to prevent this form from submitting as usual. So this is how we add interactivity to page. So even as I've okay, there's this E dot target, so which is the object. So when I click it, you see that, sorry, refresh. So it's bringing out the button object, that I selected. So with this we can do so many things. So we can add event listeners, we can use JavaScript to change the CSS rules, Okay, I can even say form btn dot font size to be maybe 48 pixels. So when I refresh, I have what is happening. Okay, sorry, the style property is not there. Style. So you see that the font size has increased to 48 as I set it. So you can do so many things to manipulate the style. I can say form btn dot there's so many things you can do. Text content will now be don't submit. So now don't submit instead of send, and when you click on it, it doesn't submit. So that's pretty much of it about JavaScript events. I believe we've touched pretty much everything. Is not a conclusive tutorial, but is enough to get you started on your journey as a front-end web developer. So the goal now is the project now is to design we are going to make a portfolio website, just like similar to this. I think I have similar to this. So where you have your image, some brief about yourself, and then these cards displaying what you do, your skills. It may be anything. You can customize it anyhow you choose, and then put it on a GitHub page or get it hosted. So that's that for that. If you have any question, don't hesitate to let us know. Thanks.